This crispy chicken is from a taco place. This crispy chicken is from a taco place? The taco place? Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cars are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News. Game time is approaching, and we're getting you ready with the latest pregame news, interviews, analysis, and more from BNN. Have a pregame score prediction or comment? Let us know in the ICCU YouTube chat, or leave us a message on the Signature Roofing voice box at speakpipe.com/BNN. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud sponsor of Boise State Athletics and proud to support our student athletes through exciting NIL partnerships. From the blue turf to wherever life takes you, Lithia Ford of Boise is here to get you there. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. The title sponsor of Bronco Nation News is RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. For all your painting needs, check out RowPaint.com. Now let's head out and join five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show on Bronco Nation News.
All right, welcome on in, Bronco Nation News. I am not BJ Rains. I am Nathan Carroll here with Abe Jackson at the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show here for Boise State taking on Utah Valley at ExtraMile Arena. Big game. Broncos are 0-1 coming off a, needless to say, a loss that a lot of fans weren't expecting.
Sure, yeah.
Losing to Hawaii Pacific on Monday. But they take on a Utah Valley team. They came off a big win against their D2 opponent. As I said, I'm Nathan Carroll here with Bronco Nation News. This is Abe Jackson. Abe, how you feeling? What's the temperature right now?
Well, I mean, it's pretty hot, right? I mean, in the Valley too, with fans. I mean, shocking loss. And it wasn't that Hawaii Pacific was a better team. They're not a better team. They played better, and they played better as a team. I mean, we talked right before the show, if you could pick one player on each team for each position, you would probably pick all five Boise State players if you're just looking at a basketball player. But when you put them together in the teamwork, and the energy was just so bad. I mean, they were just in a funk. There was no calming presence whatsoever. You got guys on the bench that were ticked off. You got guys on the court who weren't getting the ball, and you could see the frustration. Coach Rice even said he was putting out little emotional fires all over the place they were acting like they were down 20 and it was only a 1-point game. So I think that, you don't usually get a gut check for a game, after the second game of the season, but I think that's what this is.
Yeah.
I think that is what this game is right now, because Utah Valley is also no slouch whatsoever. I mean, they beat West Coast Baptist by 80 points. Now, I don't know what West Coast Baptist has, but I think there are some high school teams here in Idaho that wouldn't get beat by Utah Valley by 80 points. They get beat by 50, but I don't think that they would get beat by 80. So they're going to have to pick it up, and it's not the talent. They're going to have to pick it up with how they play together. The defense for sure needs to get better. And then just kind of the energy in between the guys, and how do you react to adversity, and how do you react to things going well as well. So a lot of things to look at in this game, and hopefully they can come out with a win.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. It's a good Utah Valley team. Obviously, not only do they win their first game big, they went 15-1 in the WAC last year. They won the regular season championship in that league and end up missing out on the tournament because they lose the WAC title game to Grand Canyon. But this is a well-coached team. They understand how to win, which when you're going on the road trying to pull off an upset, that's massively important, right? This isn't a team that hasn't won before, and they're going to try to take advantage of maybe a reeling Boise State team. It's a program that knows how to win. Like I said, they're a well-coached team, and they've got some talent back from that team that did go 15-1 in the WAC last year. One thing that I noticed, I was doing a little bit of scout on Utah Valley. They don't have tremendous size in terms of their bigs, but they're long. They've got 6'4" guards that they start, and they're athletic. We were talking about projected starting center for them, Isaac Davis, kid who played here in Idaho at Hillcrest High School. I don't know how much you've seen of them or how much you know about their program, but just even getting to see them in warmups. What do you make of Utah Valley? What do you make of sort of Boise State's matchup in this?
Well, when you think of Utah Valley compared to Hawaii Pacific, you look at Hawaii Pacific and you say, okay, pretty much nowadays, where'd this kid come from? What other school? And at Hawaii Pacific, it was kind of all over the place, some schools you never really heard of. But here, there's a bunch of Division I guys that came from a couple players from Utah State, and then some other Division I schools as well. So it's not like this is a Division II team like a Hawaii Pacific. This is a team that has some legit Division I basketball players on it, and in a program that has really started to distance itself a little bit in the WAC. Them and Grand Canyon are the two high-profile teams in that conference. So if you play the top one or two teams in really any Division I conference in America, they're going to be a quality basketball team. So I think that Utah Valley and maybe Wichita State could be the two top teams that Boise State has to play before they head to Maui.
Yeah, and I put together an article in the preseason about, can Boise State avoid the bad loss? We've talked about it plenty. There's been, in recent seasons, kind of the one clunker that at the end of the year you look back and go, okay, that's the one that cost them a seed line, or that cost them, last year in case a bid. And I picked out 5 games. I didn't even pick out Hawaii Pacific as one of those games that they could drop. Now you're in a spot against a Utah Valley team who they smell blood in the water. And coincidentally, Hawaii Pacific was the Sharks, but Utah Valley almost playing the role of the Sharks. And like you said, they've got real D1 talent. 2 transfers from Utah State in the starting lineup. Starting small forward Tyler Hendricks transferred from UCF. His brother Taylor Hendricks was a lottery pick to the Indiana Pacers. So, this is going to be a real basketball team, and a team that probably expects to make the tournament. I know you said that, over the past 5 years or so, it's kind of been them and Grand Canyon at the top of the WAC.
But now it's just them.
Yeah. Boise State probably going to get their first look at an NCAA tournament caliber team today. Yeah. Now, with all that said, despite the loss, despite how good Utah Valley has looked, the Broncos are 12.5-point favorites coming into this game. Clearly, the odds makers in the desert still look at this team as a talented basketball team. What do you think Boise State needs to do today to get back on track?
Well, it has to start for me on the defensive end, and you can look at all the numbers, and BJ has those, and you probably have looked at them as well. But when you're at a certain ranking defensively, the chance of you going to the NCAA tournament goes up a lot. Mm-hmm. And the defense that they played against Hawaii Pacific, giving up 79 points and them shooting 50%, is just something that I haven't really seen from a Bronco team. I mean, there are teams that get hot and shoot 50%, but it wasn't that Hawaii Pacific was really hot. One guy kind of was in the first half, but it was just breakdowns. It was help side defense, completely turning their head, losing your man, and then not knowing where they are. You were giving up cuts to the basket that way. There was a couple threes in the second half. One was a big one that was really deep. A guy penetrated, all the Boise State heads turned. He relocated, was wide open, knocked down a three. So the defense is the thing that I'm going to be looking at, because defense also is one of those things that you can kind of check mark that are they playing well together as a team. You can have a really good game and score 90, 95 points and have a couple guys go off offensively, and that's just how it goes. But it's hard to play well as a team, or it's hard to play good defense if you're not playing well as a team and all together. So that's what I'm going to be looking at.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And it felt, especially early in the game, there was just kind of some, for lack of a better way to put it, dumb mental lapses. Like you said, just watching the ball, losing track of your man, maybe a little slow on a rotation. And you do wonder how much of that is maybe just coming out, overlooking a little bit of a Hawaii Pacific. Because, I think the coaching staff's going to penetrate to these guys like, hey, every game matters. Anyone can beat us. But I think sometimes it could get in your head like, okay, it's a D2 program. We should be able to just kind of roll the ball out here and win.
Well, they just beat Washington by like 10 in a scrimmage.
Right.
Which is a solid win against a big-time school. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I think some of it comes down to the coaching for sure. I mean, off the court, in the locker rooms, during practice, what's the new message now that maybe wasn't there before? But also the players on the court. We've mentioned it a lot, and I know Tyson left his mark on this program, and everybody loved watching him play. But Tyson, Max, Abu Kijab, Marcus Shaver, those guys over the past 7 years were a calming presence for the team on the court. You never really saw them. They got pumped, they got excited, but when things were going bad, you never really saw what we saw against Hawaii Pacific. Guys just kind of, I don't know if pouting, but just really frustrated. They weren't getting the ball, and you never really saw that. So where's the calming presence going to be on this team throughout the year? And it can come from anywhere. It can come from a player, it can come from a coach, but it's got to be somebody that steps up and the other players kind of follow when it comes to some adversity in games.
Yeah, and that's we did our BNN countdown series leading up to this game. Our number 2 question was, how do you replace Tyson Dagenhart? And we talked a lot about just the player, right? Where do you get points from? Where do you get rebounding? Where do you get but also the leadership, right? Like, that's a guy who really for the last 3 years has been Mr. Boise State basketball, right? You talked about it. If Boise State got down, Tyson was going to be the guy who rallied the team together.
And not really just when they're down offensively, but there are some times that our guys got posted up against 6'4", 6'5" foremen from Hawaii Pacific and lost the one-on-one battles. Tyson, Abu, they would not have lost that one-on-one battle in the post when you need to have a stop. So, and it's not like the Hawaii Pacific player is better. They're not better than Javen Buchanan or Andrew Meadow, the guys who got posted up. So there's got to be something that changes. So I agree with you that Tyson needs to be replaced. He's hard to replace, but they got to find something there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, late in the game, one thing that caught my attention in that last game is we started to see a lot of the newcomers, right? For most of that second half, we saw a lineup that had Dylan Andrews, Drew Fielder, A.G. Nato, and Spencer Aarons out on the floor. There was a little bit less, a little bit less of like an R.J. Keene, a little bit less of a Pearson Carmichael. To you, was that something that you think is indicative that, all right, maybe going into this game there is a turn of a page? Maybe Spencer Aarons is starting or getting 25 minutes, or do you think throughout this week the guys who've been around the program, is it sort of their job to lead the way and get this thing back on track?
I think right now you're just looking for anybody, right? Yeah. And I think that the coaching staff, they've always been the kind of coaching staff that doesn't just let someone play because they've been in the program for 3 or 4 years. You're earning it in practice every single day. Coach said that, hey, Wednesday when we get to practice, this was after the game, the Hawaii Pacific game, he said it's a tryout. It's a tryout for who's going to play, who wants to get these minutes. So I don't think that you got to take a look at guys who have been in the program or guys who've only played one basketball game that counts for this program. Whoever's playing, whoever they're seeing in practice, doing the things that they want them to do, defensive rotations, rebounding the ball, knocking down open shots in the spot where they should be getting the ball. Those are the guys that are going to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we talked a little bit of doom and gloom. I don't want to make it seem like the sky is falling because at the end of the day, this isn't football. Boise State can still come out, win some games, accomplish everything they wanted to accomplish. I know when you lose to a D2 program, there's not going to be many, if any, positives, but was there one thing that you saw in that first game that got you really excited about the rest of the season?
Some of the new guys. Nato, I think, played a pretty good game. And then also Aaron's knocking down 3 or 4 threes for Boise State behind the arc. And I think that Dylan Andrews had a pretty good game as well. I mean, everyone's going to look at that last play, but let's be honest. Whether or not that shot went down or that it missed and Boise State wins by 1 or loses by 1, the rest of the game was still bad. So, I mean, the last play, whatever. If it goes in, yes, you won and everyone feels a little better, but the rest of the game was still what it was. But I think he played a pretty good game, double-digit points, 9 assists. He was getting the ball out to guys. So, but honestly, I really think it came down to defense. I mean, you give almost 80 points to a Division II team and they shoot 50%, that's got to be fixed.
And if there's anything I know about this coaching staff, Mike Burns and Leon Rice, they made that the emphasis this week. And that's the one thing, if I'm looking into this game, if I had a crystal ball, I would imagine I would see that there's a lot better defensive effort, a lot better defensive intensity, because like you said, there were schematic breakdowns, but so much of it at times was just getting a little bit lazy, getting a little bit, lacking the fundamentals. And those are things that, if you're a Boise State fan looking for positives, in theory, that can get picked up and fixed.
Well, you want to know something else that's a little bit of a change-up? First time since he's been at Boise State, Andrew Meadows is going to try without goggles.
Wow.
Yes.
Does he have contacts in today?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he needs. He has contacts, and so he's out there warming up right now. And I was told before he was out there that he was going to give a shot without goggles. So he's out there, and he just knocked down a 3. So let's see if that's something. So yeah, a lot of change-ups, a lot of change.
There you go. There you have it. Well, Abe, I know you got to get back running over. Thank you so much for coming on. Abe Jackson, everybody.
We'll talk with you after the game.
Talk with you after the game. Fantastic as always. Boise State, we're about 43 minutes to tip off here on the Lithia Ford Pregame Show. Got Boise State trying to get to 1-1, grab their first win on the season. Let's hit a quick 2-minute break, and then we'll be back.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place. This crispy chicken is from a taco place? The taco place? Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cars are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
All right, thank you, Bronco Nation News. Back joining us, had an eager spectator who had some questions, so I had to send it to commercial to chat with him for a second. But we are 40 minutes from tip-off here at ExtraMile Arena. Boise State trying to get back on track. Got the football game over on the side. Number 2 Indiana trailing Penn State with about 1:20 to go. So we've got Boise State basketball on a college football Saturday. So we'll see what kind of crowd we end up getting here for this game. I know the crowd for that first game, Hawaii Pacific, was very good, all things considered. I mean, you're playing a D2 opponent, and I thought the numbers were pretty good. I thought the corral showed up pretty good for that first game. So still got a lot of time. We'll see how many people end up filtering in. Now, one thing that could end up impacting attendance today, as we were rolling in trying to find parking, Bronco Day is going on today, and it was pandemonium out in front of the stadium. thousands of people out there walking around trying to get into the stadium for don't know what it was, don't know what was going on. But, it was pandemonium out there. So maybe some of those here for Bronco Day going to give a quick visit to the basketball game, see if Boise State can get back on track here. Let's get to some of the comments here. I know John Buchanan checking in from Indiana. Welcome, John. I know you said, what's up, BJ? No BJ today. I probably should have opened with that. BJ Rains out for this game. He is back home in St. Louis. His family has a nonprofit that they do a yearly gala to kind of put on and use as a fundraiser. And sounds like this was the 25th anniversary gala or gala. And he was able to make it back with the bye week this week. So I said, BJ, go be with your family, support their nonprofit. And, I'll take over the show for you. So appreciate Bronco Nation News and you guys putting up with me here for the pregame and the postgame show for this one in a game that's much bigger than I think a lot of us anticipated, given how that first game went. John Buchanan watch party in Lafayette, Indiana at the Buchanans. Now, is that a watch party for the Boise State game or a watch party for the Indiana game? They got a big one. Like I said, Penn State leading 24-20 right now. Indiana driving with about a minute to go. Elsewhere in the chat, we got Aarons has to start or get more minutes. Yeah, the story, if you're looking for positives from that first game, Spencer Aarons, my goodness, a true freshman, comes in, gets his first D1, I say D1 action. They did play D2 school, but his first action as a Bronco and looked exceptional. I want to say it was 4 of 7 from 3, and that's coming into the program. That's what you knew you could get with a guy like Spencer Aarons. I mean, at the U19 World Cup in Switzerland with Team Canada, shot 41% from 3 on volume this past summer. I mean, that man has a flamethrower of a shot, and for him to be able to step in day one, game one, and be able to give good minutes and just so confident with his release too. That's really one of the things that stood out to me. You'd think most freshmen maybe a little timid, maybe a little, it's my first game, I don't want to take a bag shot. He was letting it fly, doing everything he could to try to help Boise State get a win. P Silly TV saying BSU better bring their A game, and I think that's the case. I really do. I mean, this Utah Valley team it's a talented team. Ken Palm has it a 10-point game, and that doesn't even factor in the Hawaii Pacific loss because D2 games don't count in the metrics in Ken Palm. So Boise State only moved down 1 spot from that game. I guess, again, if you're looking for a silver lining there from that performance. So Utah Valley not to be looked over. And if you're Boise State, I don't think there's any way you can. After you lose to Hawaii Pacific, I mean, every game there is no overlooking anyone the rest of the way because you're just you lost to a D2 opponent. Any game is losable from here on out. So I do expect that this team will be focused, that they'll have better effort, better intensity tonight. Some more questions. Got Boise State all day. Thanks for being in the chat here, Jennifer. Is Aaron starting? No word yet on the starting lineup. So we are not sure who the starters will end up being as of yet. They'll probably have those to us here in the next probably 10 to 20 minutes or so, I'd want to say. We'll see if Spencer Aarons is starting, but that'll be one of the storylines as we're here in the pregame show is who gets the starting reps, who gets the minutes. I mean, Dylan Andrews certainly played well enough, I think, to continue to keep a starting spot, but a guy like A.G. Nato, who played a lot of closing minutes for Boise State, does he end up being in the starting lineup, or do they continue to go out there with Peanut Carmichael, Andrew Meadow, and Javen Buchanan? The only guys I would say pretty definitively probably start are Dylan Andrews, Andrew Meadow, and Drew Fielder. I think those 3 you can probably put in Sharpie, but maybe they go back to Javen Buchanan being off the bench. He was 6th man of the year last year. If they feel like they need a change and need to get Spencer Aarons in the starting lineup. And likewise, maybe they move Pearson Carmichael to the bench where he can kind of be a bench scorer, take on that Javen Buchanan role, and they elevate a guy like A.G. Nato into the starting lineup. So very interested to see what they do with the starting lineups tonight. Very interested to see how the rotations shake out. I thought in the second half of that game, I mentioned earlier, guys like R.J. Keene started to get less minutes. Julian Bowie didn't get his first run of the second half until I want to say the 4 or 5 minute mark of that second half. Hardly saw any go. Dominic Parolin didn't get significant minutes in the second half. So very, very curious to see ultimately how does Leon Rice attack the rotation? And is that loss a rotation issue? Is it, hey, we need to get the right guys more minutes and get them into the starting lineup? Or is it there was an effort and intensity and focus issue? We got lost on some defensive schematic stuff. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to certainly be one of the storylines as this game goes along. So we looked at the projected starters for Utah Valley. We don't have their official starting list. Like I said, that'll probably be to us here in next 10 minutes or so. But they do have size. Both of their starting guards are listed at 6'4", two guys from Utah, Traven Lenhart and Braden Housley. Traven Lenhart, I know, was with the program last year. Braden Housley played at Utah State last year, played in 3 games before a season-ending injury cut his season short. Tyler Hendricks transfers in from UCF. Like I said, his older brother, Taylor Hendricks, was a lottery pick in the NBA draft. So Tyler Hendricks has some, NBA DNA in there. Jackson Holcomb starting at the 4. I know he was with the program last year. And then Isaac Davis transferred from Utah State. And again, if you're an Idaho local, you probably know the name. Isaac Davis played at Hillcrest High School at the 5A level over in Idaho Falls. And I believe won 2 state titles while he was there at Hillcrest. I mean, I won't sit here and say I'm not Jay Tust. I haven't seen, 15 years of state Idaho high school playoffs. But, man, Isaac Davis, one of the best high school players I've seen in Idaho. Just tremendous athlete, tremendous ability to get to the rim, score around the rim. So Boise State, Drew Fielder going to have his hands full with Isaac Davis. But it's a talented roster with some marquee names. Like I said, 3 guys who come from Mountain West plus a Big 12 program and 2 guys who've been around the program. Their point guard, Traven Lenhart, exceptional passer. Not a guy who's going to look to get his shot all the time, but he's going to distribute for others and make sure that they get open looks. So Boise State defensively going to have to be much better, going to have to be better in their pick and roll coverage, going to have to be better in their rotations. And I'm looking over to the right here. It looks like Indiana may have scored a touchdown to go ahead. Oh, man, that's as close as it gets. That's as close as it gets. We'll see if that ends up holding. But kind of fun having football going on while we do the pregame show here, talk about the game. So for those of you who are here, just big thank you to Lithia Ford of Boise for one of our sponsors, Andy Rowe and Rowe Painting, as always, our title sponsor. Thank you so much for your support of Bronco Nation News and Boise State Athletics. We will be on postgame show as well. We'll go back, get interviews from Leon Rice, get interviews from players, and have that for you guys here at in the postgame show. So be sure to stick around. We'll see. What are your guys' score predictions for this one? Like I said, Vegas has it as Boise State by 12 or thereabouts. And I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. I know early on we had a few comments. Bill Dunkel likes the Broncos in this one. Likes the Broncos big by 23. Had Chad Bocut in here. Boise State by 9. Still getting the win. Which again, after when you're 0-1, any sort of win is a win. So we'll see. We've got Billy here in the arena. I don't know where you're at. We're starting to file in a little bit, but I don't think that we'll have 10,000 people at ExtraMile Arena here on a Saturday afternoon. So we'll see what the attendance ends up looking like as Utah Valley making their way back out onto the court. To Boise State, and the Broncos are going to have to take on in their search to go 1-1. Like I said, that had that loss to Hawaii Pacific. Now, one thing I felt was worth talking about on the pregame show, there was a lot of panic, a lot of season's over, a lot of at-large bid is done. And look, I'll preface this by saying when you lose to a Division II program, you don't talk about at-large bids anymore. Just focus on getting wins, get back on track. But also, like I said with Abe earlier, it's not football. One loss isn't going to end your season. Boise State still can reel off wins, accomplish everything they want to accomplish. Now, that in the championship picture. So, obviously, it hurts, no doubt about it. But Boise State still got a lot to play for. And I think if they come out and look really good today, win by 15, 20 points, I think that Boise State fans could continue to look forward to, okay, this could be a tournament team because the talent's there, zero doubt about it. I mean, they didn't lose against Hawaii Pacific because of a lack of talent. It wasn't like guys weren't good enough. Some guys missed shots, some defensive breakdowns. And again, I put it in the article, man, but credit to Hawaii Pacific, their staff. I mean, Hawaii Pacific came out to play. They took advantage of a Boise State team that did not play well, and you have to give credit to them for doing that. Still a bad loss, still probably the worst loss in program history. I know I was talking a little bit with Abe beforehand. He was saying there was a loss to an NAIA College of Idaho back in, I think he was saying the 80s, may have been the 90s. Don't quote me on that. But, was, the lower level being NAIA, but at the same time, being a Mountain West team that has at-large NCAA tournament hopes, is definitely a different level of loss. So all that to say, the sky's not falling. Stick with this team. They start turning this around. They start winning some basketball games. Like, they can bounce into that at-large picture as quickly as they fell out of it. So some more questions. Billy asks, here's a question. Who's the last team to lose to a D2 team school and then still make the tournament? Now, I don't know about still make the tournament because there is probably a team or two who lost to a D2 program and then won their conference tournament. But from what I was able to find, the last time a team lost to a D2 program that counted, because Syracuse in 2009 lost in an exhibition game to a D2 program, was the 1988-89 Michigan Wolverines. They lost to D2 Alaska Fairbanks and then went on to get a 3 seed in an at-large bid. And that team ended up winning the national championship. So I'll say this, the precedent, if you lose to a D2 program, history says you probably aren't going to make the tournament as an at-large. It's been, since 1989, coming up on 40 years, 37 years since it's happened. But the last time it's happened, the team that did it won a national championship. So who knows? Maybe this is a Virginia Cavaliers situation, right? It just had to be the first 1 seed to lose to a 16, and then you can come back and win it all next year. Who knows? Indiana just took the lead with 36 seconds left. Yeah, I saw that over here. What a catch. What an absolute snag. Elsewhere, pressure is on Leon Rice. I mean, yeah, coming off 3 straight NCAA tournament appearances last year, a little bit disappointing. I mean, I don't know how much pressure is on Leon Rice at this point in the season. If this thing starts to spiral, maybe, there's that pressure on Leon Rice. But I think it's a bad loss. Teams have bad losses, and it's been a theme of Boise State, unfortunately, over the last decade or so. There's some bad losses early in the season. Last year was the loss to Boston College that probably ended up costing this team an NCAA tournament at-large bid. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily pressure on Leon yet. I get why there's frustrations, and I get why they're aimed at Leon, certainly. But yeah, I think I don't think pressure's quite there yet. Again, it's early in the season, still a lot to play for, and I do still think this is a talented basketball team. Now, if you lose today, maybe we're having a different conversation in the postgame show, not just about the pressure, but just, okay, how talented is this team really? I think one of the biggest concerns from that first game was Boise State shoots, I believe, just 31% from 3 in that game. One of the biggest issues for this team last year was really poor three-point shooting. Time and time again, we'd come into games and nearly half their shots are from 3, and they're shooting sub 35%, right? They were nowhere near D1 average last season. And that first game was not encouraging, getting open looks and just not putting them in, which is why a guy like maybe Spencer Aarons is going to see 25 minutes tonight, just because he's shown already he can consistently knock down shots. So we'll see if that's the case. I know Paulie Pepperoni, love the name, Paulie. Pressure on Meadow. Yeah, I mean, your preseason All Mountain West supposed to be one of the best players on this team. Just 1 of 3 shooting from 3. When we talk about the shooting from 3 needs to be better, Andrew Meadows, one of those guys that's supposed to be one of the team's best shooters, was the team's best shooter last season as Boise State and Andrew Meadow coming out onto the court. Javen Buchanan, as you can see, leading them out onto the court. So, but yeah, I think Andrew Meadow needs to have a big game. I think he needs to play well, whether it's as a shooter or doing some of what he does, getting to the free throw line, attacking the basket. I think he's absolutely a guy that, given the expectations and the fact that he's a returner, he's been around the program, they are going to be leaning and relying on him a lot this season. I think absolutely he is a guy that you look to that needs to play well. And not to say he necessarily played bad against Hawaii Pacific or singling him out as a guy who played bad. I don't think anybody played extremely well against Hawaii Pacific. Again, when you're Boise State and you lose to a D2 program, there aren't a lot of bright spots. Talked about Spencer Aarons being one of them. But I think he's a guy that, if you're going to be an All-Mountain West player, step up, have a big game today. We'll see if it happens. But I don't want to make it sound like Andrew Meadow was maybe the sole reason for the Hawaii Pacific game, which it should be noted. Andrew Meadow, no goggles today. Midway through the season last year, he cut off the locks, decided to go with the short hair. This year, this game, he's going no goggles. Andrew Meadow, he's changing up the look, changing the vibe. Maybe that's what the team needs. Let's drop the goggles. Let's go with the contacts and see if that can lead to a Boise State victory. I don't know. What do you guys think of the chat? How do you feel about Andrew Meadow dropping the goggles? I mean, it's a big change. That's has kind of been his defining feature and one of the defining features of this program. But we'll see what you guys think. Some chat about Andrew Meadow in the comments, but otherwise, Bronco State looking to get back on track against Utah Valley. Thanks for popping in on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show, part of the 247 Sports Network. Go check us out, BroncoNationNews.com, partnered with 24/7 Sports. Obviously, one of the leaders in high school recruiting, and Boise State football got a big high school recruit today. So head over to 247. Well, I imagine that our guy Chris Van Sickle will have an article up soon, if not already, on the new recruit and his story. I know that he had an article a few months back when he came on the visit to Boise State, talking about sort of his ride, how he felt about the official visit. So for all you football fans, be sure to check that out and get to know Boise State's newest commit on the football side of things. And whenever, obviously, for basketball fans, when basketball commits come, we'll have articles up about it. We'll be breaking down their performance and what we see on our analysis of things. So great stuff, Nathan. Appreciate it, Paulie Pepperoni. Go like this video, Bronco Nation. That's absolutely right. Go head over to YouTube, like the video, go support us. It's free. It takes one click. Go give us a support. Go throw us a subscribe. Totally free to do. Supports the channel. Helps get Boise State athletics out there to the masses. So we thank you guys all for hopping in. I think with about 22 minutes to go, we're going to call it there. Be sure to stick around after the game for the Jackson's post-game show. We will have player of the game analysis, get some thoughts from Leon Rice in his post-game press conference, as well as players. We'll break down Boise State, however the result went, what it means for this team, what it means for this season. So be sure to come join us after the game as well. I have been Nathan Carroll, filling in for BJ Rains. This has been Bronco Nation News. Check us out at BroncoNationNews.com. Like I said, part of the 24/7 Sports Network, and we will see you guys after the game.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place. This crispy chicken is from a taco place? The taco place? Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with a room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cars are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today. Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.